All right, it is 7:18 on March 21st. This is Rec and Parks. I am combining or continuing with the pool subcommittee as well. I've asked them to stay on so that we can continue some discussions that relate to the pool and get some things hammered out. In attendance tonight is Councilperson McNamara, Councilperson Martin, and then the pool subcommittee, Abra, Kelly, and Gina, and then Mayor Southard is also in attendance, as well as myself, Councilperson Camera. Okay, so let's, again, kind of all the other Recs and Parks business I feel like has been put to bed for now. It doesn't need to be hashed out, but I really kind of want to get back down to the last few details of the pool, because we are, let's see how many days away we are from opening the pool. We are 64 days and 23 hours away from the pool opening. So it's coming up real quick.
64 days and 3 hours.
23 hours.
23 hours,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. All right. So, first thing I'd like to talk about is the bands at the pool. So we've talked about bands at the pool second Friday night of each month. So June, July, August. Having some discussions around it, and I wish the mayor was here, but having some discussions around it, it's gonna be a little bit of, we're not getting anyone for free, right? So we're gonna have to pay some money for these bands to come in, which I don't mind doing. I think it's the right thing to do. So the thought is around $300. I'd say if we have a budget for the summer for the 3 nights to be around $1,000. It's not a ton of money. You know, we may, Tommy already gave me a name of someone that he's recommended. They're $300. I think we've talked about reaching out to Brady and his band. I don't know what they would like. I don't know if that's enough for them or not, but so it would be a third band as well, potentially, if Brady and his band are not interested. There's also
and Tony. And
that's who I was thinking of. Yeah.
They play the guitar, Tony and
Yeah.
something.
Anyway, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. So those are options. I think a couple things to consider. You know, what happens if it rains? You know, that's always a possibility. You know, what do we do? I don't know that I have. You know, maybe could they go to Saturday night? I don't know if Saturday night's available everywhere each weekend, but Carrie said MPCA is allowed to get 2 beer permits every 30 days, and has said that they currently only have basically 1 a month scheduled, and they'd be willing to get a second permit to have beer for the bands, which I think would be nice. And then I've had discussions with Barb about having the food truck down there instead of here at the municipal building. So, you know, if we're thinking about, you know, the band from 6 to 8, so it is during pool hours, we can do a reduced admission for that night. And I've run it by our legal counsel. He said, we don't need to bring everything to council for it. The pool can make some of these decisions, or our committee can make some of those decisions. So, because the council votes on the overall membership prices, we don't need to run everything by them.
Yeah, I would say that sounds like the day-to-day operations kind of decision, which is, you know, obviously delegated now.
Right. So that's kind of where we need to get into the weeds on some of this, because I really want to get this up on the site. What I've done is, don't you love the new AI features? So I used the new AI feature on my laptop to create this logo for Party at the Pool. And so this then would say, hey, we're going to have a band this night, and I could actually put all the details in there. What's it going to cost? You know, who's coming, all that type of stuff. So let's talk through this real quick. So bands, again, you stepped out of the room, but I know you and I had a conversation about, I'm honestly thinking $1,000 for the bands for the summer. So, because I understand one might run a little bit more than the other, it may depend on how many people are in it, kind of thing. And I think you said that we're okay, we don't need to get special, we don't need to appropriate anything or anything, right?
Oh, no, I will find out tomorrow.
Okay. So if you can find that out, but,
He's not gonna be here tomorrow.
okay, whenever you find out.
He has training next week.
Okay. So anyways,
I mean,
we got the little logo, I've already put it on the site to kind of start it out, but we need to get the band set up. And then Carrie said that MPCA would be willing to get a beer permit for those nights as well.
okay.
And then I talked to Barb about having the food truck down there. Now here's the thing, we can have, the food truck's scheduled for Friday nights, right, all summer long, right? So we have, this is what I'd like your input on. We have the option, we could have the food truck come down there. Or we can just say, we have our concession stand open till 8 o'clock and this is where you get stuff from. You know, we don't make money off the food trucks, but
It draws more people in.
it draws people in, absolutely,
I'm
so
sorry, did I hear you say a reduced admission cost?
possibly. I'm asking the question. You know, if someone that doesn't have a pool membership wants to come over and listen to the band,
Yeah,
would we make them pay
No, full, like, for a
the
full day fest.
$12 or $15 that we charge now to come into the pool?
Oh, I see
You
what
know?
you're saying, just for that short
Yeah,
period. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't
reduced
think
admission.
I don't think it's
I'm thinking like,
unreasonable.
I'm thinking like, sip into it's like $6 or
Oh,
whatever.
no. Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
reduced for that.
but you know, and people may just want to come and listen to the band, right? So if we charge $5 to come in after 6 o'clock that night, I feel like that's a good price. But you know, what if you have kids that you want to come to? If you have a family and you want to come, you have a family of 4, that's $20.
Yeah, that's.
Is that unrealistic, or
Well, you can't go to a movie for under $100.
you can't?
True.
Well, that doesn't mean that we should be cranking up prices to be comparably.
Name one thing you can go do with your family other than sit at a park that you're not paying. But you gotta remember, we just said we're paying for the band to be there.
Right,
So this is gonna cost us money, additional money.
yeah,
So if we're not even covering our expenses,
right. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not arguing, I mean, I'm just saying,
I know,
where
yeah.
can you go anywhere for $20? I mean, I don't think $20 is horrible.
so $5.
There's a decrease in, no, let me start. Is there a decreased admission charge for
I was gonna ask.
somebody going to the pool after 5? Like,
What
just
is
like there are
that?
memberships?
There is the after 5 membership,
Right,
yes.
but that's what I'm saying, is there also like an evening
No.
admission pass?
No, and that's the request of our pool staff, because we were getting a lot of,
More difficult.
yes, difficult patrons at the pool with that admission. They were having to
Kick people out.
discipline a lot of people, so they asked us not to have that. Yeah,
Excuse me, Beth. Thank you.
but what if they did want to swim? For $5, would we let them swim? I don't see why not. It's for 2 hours.
But you
Yeah.
wouldn't, I mean, honestly, if you brought your kids in and they weren't, I don't know that we would have, what would we do? Put wristbands on them if they weren't allowed to swim, if they only paid the $5? I mean, they'd have to get a swim.
That's.
Right.
it's-
Right.
That had,
And then,
what was that for then?
and then of
This
course,
summer, remember they brought all those extra kids in that weren't gonna swim,
right.
And then they,
and they all ended up swimming?
yeah, that's normal.
And then of course,
They got kicked out.
if you have a pool membership anyways, you're not paying to get in the pool. We're not charging members to get in after 6 o'clock. We wouldn't normally. So I think where we make our money is off the concession stand and things like that. So we leave it open till 8 o'clock. You know, even if there is a food truck down there, we all know that there's sodas and whatnot are usually pretty expensive. Probably just as expensive as what we sell them at the pool. So,
Well, I think we did concession, because there's people that just, want to get a snack.
well, the other thing too is we have the fire pit. We were trying to do s'mores last year. We could bring that out, sell s'mores packets, stuff like that.
Could you do maybe like, instead of it just being 6 to 8, could
Mhm.
we maybe think about doing it for extended hours, like
Overnight.
maybe till like 9,
So-
where the food trucks are there from, say, 5 to 7, and
Yeah.
then maybe the session is
Yeah.
from 7 to 9.
I think that is an option, however, we could potentially be running into that income of people wanting to rent the pool in the evening, you know? If they wanna rent it from 8 to 11, then we kind of cut them out of that night of renting the pool. So,
But if we were actually bringing additional people in at $5, I think you're gonna cut, I mean, if people were really coming in, especially maybe not the first one, but by the second one, you're gonna probably make more money
yeah,
with concessions and $5 for
Right.
non-members than you are for renting it for 100. What do we rent it for?
oh, I don't know, well,
Oh,
$350 for the night,
Yeah, that'd be hard to.
yeah. Yeah,
How many parties did we rent the pool out at night?
we had 8 or 9 last year, maybe? There were several, more than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
And now with the new system of signing up through here, it should be even simpler because you can see the calendar right on the page and know, hey, there's nothing at the pool tonight, I can rent it. So, which is why I want to get all this stuff up there because it all shows on that calendar.
Do
So,
we have anything, this is just a general question, do we have anything on there that doesn't allow people to book it within X amount of days? So we know we have full coverage? How far in advance do we have to book it?
it's, I think it's 60. They can book it out 60 days in advance.
But could it, in June?
In
could
less than
technically-
7.
Okay.
You can't do it less than 7.
Okay. That's all I would make from.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they could if it was somebody that reached out or whatever,
Yeah.
but just to make sure there was coverage.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So 6 to 8 is okay, right? Second Friday night, $5 per person if you're not a member. Food truck at the pool, and then concession stand open until 8. And then we can look at s'mores and other things like that. Maybe have something special that night in addition.
I think
for
that sounds
people.
fantastic.
And
Maybe
then
the-
MPCA will get their beer license,
And they would start selling at what time?
and they
Not
would
until
6 o'clock, yeah. And they keep whatever money they make off of that. But they also help us advertise for it.
Sorry, what day of the week are we doing this?
It's a Friday. It's the second Friday of each month.
If we did it on a Saturday, we could sell beers, right?
Huh? Well, we have to be careful so far with selling beer at the pool. This is going to be kind of a test run.
Yeah.
Partially insurance. Not everyone's on board with
Yeah.
that. And then partially because the pool is open to the public. And so we want to make sure that
That's fair.
we want to test it out and see. And John has agreed to that. You know, he said, yes, I'm fine with testing it. You know, he's just not ready for us to sell alcohol at the pool full time. So we need to be responsible. And I think this is a good partnership between MPCA and the village. So each of these events really is a partnership. So the three things plus the movie night.
We will probably need to get with Jesse and have Jesse have some sort of, we'll talk about some, like the logistics, because I'm sure they're gonna have questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
I wonder if because the NPC is involved in it, would it be covered under our insurance umbrella?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's gonna be covered under theirs or ours, and that's what I guess I'm trying to
I
figure
that's,
out.
I know that it was an issue for us because we were just now trying to update our insurance for NPCA, and I know that was the issues that we had NPCA events at the pool with alcohol. But we're covered.
Okay,
That's some of the stuff that.
okay, we'll figure it out. And then movie night, I think that's it for the bands.
I just need to verify that.
Yeah. All right, movie night. I have not gotten a response back. I emailed it late, so that part of that's on me, on the price. But again, I think we just do it, right? We don't know. The MPC has done a movie night, but the village hasn't really done anything. Again, like what do we charge? Is it still that $5 a person? You know, we talked about $5 a person to capping it at 20 for movie night. But that would be an after hours event at the pool, and that would be everyone pays for it. Pool members don't get in for free for that
That
event.
started
That one, it would, so I saw, there's some park downtown that does movie nights all summer long, and they advertise it as, show up at 8 and the movie will start when it gets dark kind of thing. And so then you plan activities ahead of time to do with people. So again, kind of the s'mores, maybe we have some food or something like that with this event. We have popcorn here. We've actually looked at selling popcorn at the pool. There's a little bit of a pushback of kernels getting into the filters, which I don't completely understand. Rocks and leaves and whatnot get in there and seem to be okay. But
What do we need to do it?
to do what?
Like, okay, so, not to stop you.
Yeah.
How do I get this popcorn?
Yes.
How
So
do I get this in my belly?
I'll get to concession stands in just a second.
Okay, then
So
continue.
let's continue with
And then
that.
just wake me up when we get to this
Yeah.
part.
So again, MPCA has agreed to get a beer license for that night. And again, they would keep the revenue from all that. They supply the beer, they keep the revenue. It's a co-sponsored event again. Family-friendly movie. I know we kind of went back and forth. Is it family-friendly? Because MPCA does a lot of family stuff, or is it adults only? I think let's start with family this year, and then let's see how successful it is. And next year, maybe we do 2 nights, and one's more of an adult event, and one is a family event.
Adult movies?
Huh? Not?
I did suggest Rocky Horror at the last meeting, so.
Rocky Horror is a fantastic movie.
It is,
I will
absolutely.
go on the record to say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is.
But not necessarily like
It's not a child.
PG movies. We're talking PG-13 maybe. I don't know if we go above PG-13.
Just checking.
Yeah, so.
It's.
So I just kind of nailed down the title, and again, I kind of reached out to the, I think Swanky is the name of something like that, is the name of the copyright company.
Is this for the kids
the
who really don't
adult
listen?
Both. I am gonna ask them if there's movies that bring in a lot of money, you know, because they get,
Yeah, do they have?
I would think they'd have some of those. Oh my gosh, I've lost this. I've just lost the conversation. I'm gonna see if they have any data around what they'd recommend, to see, you know, and then try to choose a movie from that.
Yeah,
So-
here's what I will say. I remember JC having some of these events and some of these other places having events, and I remember looking at the movie thinking, why?
Yeah,
So, like, why would it, like, who thought of that? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
in my, again,
Portland does.
my opinion,
You
it's,
see this too.
I think,
Yeah.
I think most of the Disney movies are safe, and I think if we can get something pool related, that would be
Water.
really cool. However, I do think watching Jaws at the pool in the water would actually be pretty cool.
So,
I've
they
seen
used to
Jaws
do this
too.
in Beezy Bay.
Yeah,
They used to do movie nights in Beezy Bay.
I think that would be cool, and I might still see what that looks like, and maybe we do another night where it's just Jaws at the pool in the water, and it'd be cool if we could put red food coloring in the water and stuff like that. maybe have someone with a little shark fin in their head. That's
I think that would be great.
I'm just gonna attach a dorsal fin to myself. I'm just gonna swim around and freak people
There you
out.
go. There you go. That actually might be fun. That honestly, if I'm really thinking about it now, thinking out loud, kind of having that kind of theme night at the pool every year, where hey, it's Jaws night at the pool, that actually might be pretty fun to do and create an annual event out of that. So
We go to a lot of different all-inclusive resorts, and that's one of the things that they do, is a lot of the different resorts will do a theme night, and it really does get people involved, whether it's,
yeah,
you know, some sort of dressing up type thing, or,
yeah,
like you said, you know, the pool floaties, or
Yep.
something along those type things.
yeah.
So,
Where you're, well, it's not really a 1950s movie, but you could say, hey, come into your 1950 beachwear kind of thing.
Exactly.
Itsy bitsy yellow polka dot bikini and,
right.
you know,
There's-
your surfboard.
I think
and-
there's, yeah,
Well,
but
what's
it's,
Jaws? I
but
don't
it's
know.
just more than coming to the pool
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
you know, having the same 20 people there and all that. I mean, I think that's the thing, you're trying to get out of that the same exact groups going
Right.
every single time and nobody new coming and
Mhm.
just trying to reach out to the people that aren't coming.
Yep.
Like,
But I think when you select the movie, the thing to keep in mind is, it's not gonna start before
No.
9 o'clock.
No,
So,
which is-
so we don't necessarily need a G-rated movie, because
the small.
The kids are probably,
smaller kids
yeah,
are probably gonna
yeah,
be asleep.
you're right,
So,
yeah.
so kind of think
Yeah.
about that when you.
I'll run it by, whatever we come down to, I'll run it by this committee so we can make sure that we're in agreement on it. Okay, cool. Well, more to come on that. And I have everyone's email address, so
I
I'm,
don't know if you have mine.
because you're not council people, I think I can email you and we can make a consensus through email, because you're not elected officials, so we might have to do it through email. David, I feel like I'm ignoring you where you're sitting, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
All right, so concession stand, I have some cool things about concession stand. So our vendor is bringing back their hot dogs, pre-packaged hot dogs. And so we are going to be able to get hot dogs this year to sell in addition to everything else that we sold last year, which I think is pretty cool. They're going to be $5 a hot dog, but you know it's in a bun, it's all beef.
It's still cheaper than DoorDash.
They're Ivanberg or something. I forget the name of them. They're a good manufacturer of hot dogs. The Columbus Zoo uses them. A lot of the pools around here use them. It's pretty cool. They showed us a prototype of a new popcorn machine, which is a self-serve popcorn machine. You push a button and you put it underneath the thing and it fills up your bucket with popcorn. It's about we would get it for about $1,400. That would be our cost to the
Does it
pool.
spit this kind out?
It does not spit that kind out. However, you can do flavors. You can do flavors, like we can do caramel in it or different flavors. There's even savory ones, I think he said. So you can put different popcorn. There's a couple ifs here. One of the ifs is it covered under our food license, which we have to.
Wouldn't it just be a vending machine?
It's not really a vending machine because you actually pop the popcorn in it. Yeah. And I really think it boils down to how you clean it, because our level 3 food license requires you to have the 3 wash sinks, which we don't have. However, with the popcorn maker, and it even shows it on the site, you actually just put a chemical in it, and it cleans the pot using this chemical. So you actually don't wash it, you actually pour this stuff in it and turn it back on, and it cleans it from the inside out. The only thing that could potentially need to be cleaned is where the popcorn falls into those grates and everything. So we are going to have to talk to our.
I have the new email address for our new person because
Okay.
our old person retired.
Yes.
If you want, I just got an email back from, I emailed them, like a week or two ago, and they just responded, I think yesterday, because I wanted to let them know.
Yeah.
Don't come to the pool until after May 25th, and we don't open
Right.
until 4 p.m. until June, whatever,
Right.
so if they want to come do because they'll come do their inspection,
Right.
or,
So we need to see if we can get that. But we could, if we do this, basically what we would do is we would sell you a popcorn bucket for the day, and you could refill it as much as you want, kind of thing. So,
can we sell somebody one for like $50 and they can just use it all summer?
we could.
So they have something like that at Highlands where you buy.
That's what, I was thinking about the drinks, that's what
Yeah.
I was saying.
I mean, I'm sure we could find a vendor to kind of make a specialized, like a plastic type thing instead of a cardboard kind of one. Yeah. Yeah. And then, so popcorn.
Now, what if we can't get the machine, let's just theoretically,
Yeah,
we can't.
we can buy it packaged
Okay.
from them. We can. It costs a little bit more money, but popcorn
We can
is.
also buy the big ones.
Yes, we can buy huge bags of it that are popped.
Ones or stuff and seal them.
Yeah.
And sell it.
So we do have options for that. Popcorn is the highest profit margin out of anything that you can sell at the pool. So we really kind of want to get into that. Huh? Check, oh, gotcha. So we gotta look at the options. Also, I did kind of tell Jeff I wasn't planning to buy anything expensive this year for the pool, so $1,400. We can move it, yeah, right? When we build those new buildings, we can put it in the new building. So that's my justification on spending that money. So other than that, everything else is gonna kind of be the same. You know, candy, the ice cream, the chips, all that type of stuff. We're not gonna do peanuts this year. We didn't sell them last year. The peanuts are
But
precisely.
I think there's some leftovers in the
I know.
community building, so.
So that's
I just
probably,
finished them, like last week.
and they were all
Seriously.
expired.
I know, they were expired, I don't care. They tasted the same.
They tasted the
peanuts.
same, I know. But, yeah, everything's sold well at the pool. They're not gonna have, our vendor does not have, the blow pops this year. They're discontinuing those. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do there, for that. But concession stand wise, yeah.
Can you just do the Tootsie Roll Pops or whatever?
Well, I'll figure something out. I'll look through
I
their
mean,
list.
I love those.
I can't imagine what a profit margin on a $5 hot dog would be. I guess popcorn is.
No, it's not, our cost isn't $5. Our cost is like 2 something. We would charge $5.
I don't know the typical margins for
Yeah.
retail food.
It's about 2.5, you mark it up about 2.5 times.
But some of the
That's
things we
normal.
can't, yeah.
Yeah, some of our items at the pool, we don't mark up that high, you know, because you just can't. No one's gonna buy, you know, if I marked up those SpongeBob ice cream 2.5%, you know, they'd be $10 each. You're not paying $10 for a SpongeBob ice cream, but you'll pay that premium $5 or whatever for it. And so we may not make, you know, we may make a buck off of it, but we're not making, you know, half of what it costs us.
Okay. So 2.5 times.
Yeah, you know what, you get what
I'll
I'm
keep
saying.
that note.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
That's the rule of thumb for retail, it's about 2.5.
Just now 8. Breaking.
Concession stand, there was one other thing, popcorn. Lifeguards, we're looking for lifeguards if
So
you're
I've
not
only
planning.
had 2 applicants for the concession stand.
Okay,
One is a returning person. Are your kids coming back?
Yes.
They just need to email me. Or
No,
just-
yeah, for the concession, yeah.
Yeah, for concession.
Caden says he's gonna get licensed. I don't know.
for lifeguard.
Okay.
Like,
So, should I bring up that other thing, or do you not need to?
I don't know, what is it?
The schools.
Oh, go ahead. I
Okay.
mean, it's a topic.
Okay, so I've already brought this up to council, so you guys have not heard this. The middle school reached out to us and asked about using the pool for field days at the end of the school year. It is before our pool season. It is the Thursday and Friday of the weekend before, and I think it's the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week the pool opens. They don't want it all the days, they just want to have those options for those days. They bring 6th grade on one day, 7th grade on one day, 8th grade on another day. They're willing to pay. Not quite sure what that is. But in order for us to do that, we have to have lifeguards to run the pool those days before. Now, they have a couple hundred, and I have the numbers in here somewhere, I can't remember off the top of the head. Was it up to 600, over 600, like 6th graders and 700, 7th and 8th? Or is that too high? Am I
That's
thinking
way
too
too
high?
high. I think the school's only got 700 total.
Okay, maybe it was 200, 200 and 300 or something like
That
that.
sounds cool.
Anyways, you know, $5 a head. Let's just say it's 600 kids for 6th grade, right? It's $1,200 for 2 hours at the pool.
Yeah, it's
For
not an all-day
3
course.
days, making $1,200 for 2 hours at the pool. To me, it's a no-brainer. Like, we need to find a way to get lifeguards to open that pool beforehand.
So I reached out to Westerville Community Center. They are actually struggling with the same thing. Because they are the ones that usually help Highlands, or I shouldn't say Westerville Community Center, I talked to the Parks and Rec. And they used to have the schools come to Highlands, and for the last 3 years, they've also not been able to do it because they haven't been able to get lifeguards. She is working on it. If she has any, she's gonna let me know. We kind of talked a little bit, like she would let me know in April if she thought it was gonna be an option. They used to have college kids that come back year after year, and that just hasn't been happening. So she did express some of the, she did go over
Right.
some of the things that John had some concerns about. It's the number one, those are the number one days that they have more saves in those 3 days than they have the entire season times however many. It's an extreme amount. You do have to have some extra lifeguards to make sure that, they're there. If they're not our lifeguards, one of the concerns was, what if they don't show up, or what if one or two doesn't show up? We can't have all of these kids there with no backups. So, there are a couple of concerns that were raised by, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of liability. Just because you do have a lot of kids that may or may not be able to swim. Yes, some of the teachers are there, but like he says, there's definitely some good potential of not only making some money those 3 days, but some of these kids coming back, them going home to their families and telling their families how great it was, or, oh, there's a pool right over here, you didn't know? I mean, that type of thing. I'm sure none of these kids even know it's there.
Yeah, we could send them all home with a code, like a discount code, and say, hey, if you sign up in the next week, we'll give you a discount for a membership to the pool kind of thing.
So
Because again, they're coming from
all over, yeah.
this area right here, right?
Yeah, we used to do it. I mean,
We did it when we were in
fifth
grade.
grade. Hawthorne used to do it.
Yeah.
We used to.
I did it.
We are gonna get the sides of the pool repainted.
Yes.
That's costing us close to $6,000.
And that's with us painting it.
Yeah, that's us painting it, yeah.
That's just getting the materials and somebody prepping it for us.
So these are some ways to kind of make some of that money back. Again, we gotta get the pool operating in the black and not in the red. So I think, to me, this is a no-brainer. I think, so anyways, I bring it up because if you guys know people, yeah,
Have you thought about calling Y?
yes. I don't know that we've reached out to them yet,
We've
but we
reached out
have.
to them, but we haven't heard anything.
Okay,
We've reached out, I've actually called a couple different ones.
Have you talked to,
I've not talked to anybody from the line.
a resident? I can't think of her name, Bethany. She's on board with the Y at the,
Northland?
If you can get Jason or I in contact and see if they can help us get in contact with someone.
I'll ask.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. You
And
know,
think about all those warm bodies heating up the pool.
well, it
I mean,
also,
seriously. Sorry.
you heard the mayor and I talk about how our fingers are always, we become religious because we never know if the pool's really gonna open. This would require us to have water in the pool and everything ready to go over a week ahead of time. So water would be warming up.
Our dream goal last year and this year is to have it filled by like the 15th of the month. I mean,
Yeah.
filled and ready to go, which means right now, we're almost April, we haven't even gotten the permit yet, which that's something I'll have Leah work on this week. But we've got to get it cleaned out, we have to get it drained. As soon as we do that, we have to get it filled because we don't want the bottom of the pool to crack again. Which the earlier we open, I do realize that it is going to cost us a little bit more because we have to get chemicals in there.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know how difficult that is going to be for John to make, because now John's got to make sure that all that stuff is up and running and, making sure that it's ready to go. I mean, it's going to cost him a little extra work for a week, 2 weeks before the pool opens, that it's just kind of sitting there empty and.
Yeah. But when you think about labor, let's just say we overpay a lifeguard for that day and we pay him $50, right? Our lifeguards normally make $17, $18 an hour, right? We know it's going to be a 2-hour event, but we'd want them there earlier. We'd probably want them to stay a little bit later. We also need to make sure we're not taking taxes out. This would be, just a check kind of thing. We want to incentivize them not to not show up, right? And if we have 5 of them, that's $250 paying our lifeguards, right? And again, $1,200, spend $250 in lifeguards. We're still making almost $1,000 off of that. Plus, we know the pool's open.
That's
So,
everything.
if you can think of anyone, and maybe there's other college students coming home early.
I mean, college gets out at the very beginning of May.
Yeah.
Or
Or
should
how
also
they
call the Jewish Community Center.
Yeah.
Okay,
They've got an indoor pool that's, I know they've got live music, I haven't been there a while, but
Yeah.
they.
is that the one in Bexley? Yeah. Okay. Anything, if you can think of anything to help. Oh, you know what, the other thing we talked about is the teen nights. So again, I think that could be we plan it, right? So that it's junior high on a Tuesday night, maybe high school on a Thursday night.
Like the week before school opens?
And we could do no, I'm talking about during the summer.
I know, but like, do you want to do it in August before they go back to school, or just June or July?
I think we can do it a couple times, I think we can do less expensive. Here's, I said, we talked about riffraff, right, at the pool, but I think when you plan for it, it's a little different, right? Because you staff to handle that type of stuff. But we can also structure some things around events or having some activity. Maybe we have a DJ come out or something like that, something fun or to do.
You can always, I don't know how that works with, not to bring in police during, a teen event or something, but it's kind of like having an SRO when you're at the school dances and all that kind of stuff. There's no reason that, if we really wanted to do something like that and anybody was concerned, or let's say the first one was not the best, we could always have something like that there. I don't know if they can be non-uniform to make it not look so bad, but obviously they couldn't probably do anything if they weren't, and I don't know how that works, but I'm assuming it would need to be uniformed, but if you were concerned about that in any way whatsoever, I mean, that's something we could always talk to chief and say, can you do some special, can one of the guys do special duty, or can you just schedule somebody extra for that night?
Right.
And they don't have to be stationed there, just so we know we have them.
We're just thinking, there's definitely probably weeknights where attendance is low at the pool, and so, what can we do to get some attendance? And having a teen night, or having a couple teen nights could help.
It's worth a shot.
So, okay. I didn't feel like I had this much to talk about, but there's always a lot to talk about with the pool. I'd like to finalize, again, this is kind of so we can start getting POs cut and whatnot. We've talked about a giant Jenga at the pool. We good with that? We've talked about cornhole. Do we want to get a second Connect 4 game, or do you want to, I don't know. I don't care either way.
I think if
People
you
use
have
them.
games, you probably don't need it.
Okay. What about the giant checkerboard?
I like as many options as we can reasonably afford. I mean, we want the place will be a destination. We got the games, we got the eventually fixed up. We got team night, movie night, bands. I'm an all of the above kind of person.
I appreciate that.
What is it made of?
So they're like rubber mats that are black and white.
Like exercise mats?
They're kind of that same kind of material.
Okay.
Or like what you'd see in a restaurant in a kitchen, because they kind of have holes in them that the water goes through them. So they're made out of that. They kind of fit together like a puzzle. And then the pieces are probably about this big, about yay thick, and they're made out of plastic. You can also get chess pieces for them as well, so you can do chess or checkers. But it's 10 feet by 10 feet, so it's giant.
If the pieces, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, if the pieces are thrown into the pool, what happens to them?
They should float. They're plastic. Yeah.
Are there holes in them that they could potentially sink?
I don't know for sure.
I'm just, again, I think it's a great idea.
I think those are legitimate questions to ask. Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think it's all moldy inside and it's.
Right, I guess it's a decision.
I think altogether the pieces and the board are probably around $300. So, it's not a giant expense.
Were you still thinking about the Gaga balls?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an option too. I actually got this catalog last week.
That is expensive though, isn't it?
Well, again, I got this catalog last week from Barb, and there's a Gaga ball pit in here, and I was like, oh, that price is actually not that bad. Let me see.
Because they just put a guy up that says school and the kids are like nuts over it.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Okay. It's made out of graphite, or it says graphite 15. This is more expensive than I thought. A 15-foot pit is $1,692. They're made out of plastic like this. But I think that was about. The other option is you can buy the corner pieces and then you supply your own wood. Like you can buy the hardware.
That's what I was gonna say, I feel like there's no way that you can do
Yeah,
that.
and I did get a price on that. I think that company was out of Indiana.
My concern about Gaga in the pool area is you're gonna have wet kids running around in wet grass, are gonna slip and knock their heads. Or fall out of the pit and get hurt.
Okay.
Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Do they?
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it, but I feel that there's some safety issue with the Gaga pit in your pool.
They have one over at Amherst.
Do they at the pool?
Oh, they do?
Kids get out and run around.
Okay, if we purchase the brackets, so I got a quote from this guy. The brackets, the template, the assembly instructions, the fastener pack, and the cutout template and instructions, and then the cost to ship it would be $742. We would have to then purchase the wood on top of that to put it together. And I don't know what the wood would run.
Yeah, that's fine. 1,500.
So, but either way, they'd be relocatable with a pool. So are we saying no with the Gaga pit, or?
I'm not opposed to it.
The kids love it.
Because honestly, what I'm thinking is, people don't use the volleyball court that much.
It's a waste of space.
So, if we kind of set it over in that area. You're thinking, April, what are you thinking?
Food.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Just thinking.
No.
He's
Okay.
different.
I know. JP, you've been quiet. You're ordering dinners.
We don't have 20 minutes because I was going to get
Don't
this.
judge.
No, we're okay.
I'm just mad.
We're not going to be another 20 minutes. This is the last thing I have to talk about. Huh? This was it, just what we want to get POs purchased for, because I'd like to get this stuff ordered.
I'm not opposed to it, but of all the things that we're talking about getting, that would be the last thing on the list for me.
Okay. I think there's plenty, we got plenty on the list right now. I mean, I'm not going to push for it. Like,
You can always get it.
yeah, we can always see how it goes with everything else. Okay, so Jenga, checkers, and cornhole. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you think of anything else to help the pool make some money?
Sour Mexican
Oh,
pizza.
I know, right? I saw that, I was like, oh, that's the best.
I mean, when we can get a food license, I think there's some fun stuff we can sell at the
Yeah, these
pool.
little hot tray things that bring your own,
I know, a little pizza oven,
I'm walking across
or
the street or in the parking lot all the time to get food as it is.
walking tacos, I think would be fun at the pool.
Look at that.
Anyway,
Let's go.
shoot, I thought of something and now JP, you made me forget. It is, hold on. It's something about a night at the pool. Sponsorships, that's what it was. Okay, if you don't know this, all of you have a pool membership now, don't you? Kelly, did you sign up for it? You did, right? Yeah.
I'm signing up for mine next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait till the last possible day.
I see that. All right. Anyways, you can sponsor our pool now. If you didn't know that, we have sponsorships from $150 up to $1,000. What you get with your sponsorship is that it's listed at the bottom of the membership pages on the website. Every time I send an email out for stuff, it's listed in the email. It will randomly choose. So the higher you pay for your sponsorship, the more your business gets sent out in the emails. If you get that $1,000 one, We've talked about, you get to rent the pool one night for an after-hours event for a discounted price, which we have to determine. And then you provide it, but you get a banner that goes up on the fence that goes around the pool. So all these advertisements. So if you know anyone that's looking to sponsor, it's all on the site. You sign up for it through the site. You pay for it through the site. It's all done through there. So I don't want to hound our residents per se to do it. So think about who would be, I'm not saying that we can't ask our residents who have businesses to do this, but think about who would benefit from the demographic that's at the pool, right? We're talking families and things like that. So think about dentist office, think about children's pediatrics, doctors, maybe Fiesta Jalisco over here. I mean, for how much money people in our village give them, I think they should sponsor something at the pool. So if you are if you're out somewhere and you're like, hey, I'm frequent your business and I think you could sponsor a pool, mention it to them. Starts at $150. And goes up from there. Huh?
The Brazilian wax.
Yeah. Yeah, so, because,
When's Nikki come back?
isn't that, he sold, you're talking about
Yeah, he's coming back up.
he's buying it back?
He just hangs out or so.
Yeah, okay.
Is he back? He was going to India.
I know that she was there, the communities from last week.
Alright, well, again, I felt like the pool was probably their priority of this meeting tonight, so, because fountains are taken care of, landscaping's taken care of,
Just so you guys know, whether
Yeah.
anybody cares about this or not, the flags that are in the trees, in the
MI section, yeah.
MI section,
Yep.
those are just getting mulched, they're not getting removed, they're not being destroyed, they're not getting taken
I
down.
knew exactly what it was when I saw it.
Yeah, they're just getting mulched.
That-
It was for us to identify them.
Yeah. Our landscaping company is gonna put mulch around all the village-owned trees in the MI section.
We started
And we
with
need
60.
to identify them so they
Right.
knew which ones belong to the village. Yeah.
We started with 60, so there might be a couple that are not gonna get done, that we might just have to go do after that, because we were just trying to figure out how many we had, and a couple died, and this and that, and that's what's in the contract, so we went and marked 60 of them. And those were the prime ones that we marked. So there might be 5 or 6 that are not getting mulched, but we also just lost 2. So there were more, and now there's less that aren't getting mulched, so. And as the trees come back, we're gonna find out there's other ones that are down. So 60 was in the contract, that's what we marked.
Fountains have been ordered for the ponds over in the MI section, so that will be nice.
They said the first bills, we have to pay half down, so they said
And
this
then, I
today.
think, are we fixing some over here too?
That was already fixed.
Okay,
So
we had some broken ones
I'm on
over
my
here.
way.
Top it all.
Yep. So, cool things, I think there's a few more, just because this falls into this committee, there's a few more tweaks to the amphitheater that are coming in.
So we just got, I'm not gonna go into detail on this because I do not have any detail on this, but we've actually gotten some information for the grant today.
Okay.
So I've not looked at it, that was,
We have to finish that up because we do have a grant that's kind of reimburse us for some of this
that's
stuff.
above my pay grade. That went to somebody, that was forwarded on to our attorney.
So, anyway, the other projects that Parks and Recs and Parks have been working on,
Who is technically the maintenance garage?
I think it's me. It was me, but,
That meeting was gonna be Thursday.
mhm.
I made the executive decision to schedule it, and whoever is able to be here is able to be here. That is on Thursday, if anybody has interest in maintenance garage, at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Mike will be here discussing location and,
Were you at the last MPCA meeting? You weren't. You were late or something, right? Or no?
I was there.
Anyways, yeah, there's a space in it. There is a space in it for MPCA. We're just trying to figure out.
so the quick version, so you can hear this too, and for NPCA. So when we originally went to the first meeting, I had asked for space for NPCA to be like an alternate type, like a bid type thing. if there was a way to put like a shed or something next to it, connect it to it, do something like that. I don't know if it was because of the way that they originally had it really close to the street and all of that, that's why we're having this meeting. So they went ahead and did it as part of the design, and I probably have pictures of it that I can pull up, but they actually did it inside the building. But you guys would have your own, or however this ends up working out, there's an exterior entrance into that, but it's technically part of the building. So short of trying to figure out how much per square foot or something like that, it's not going to be an alternate or anything because it's essentially just space inside the building. There is still the potential of maybe asking them if they can do some sort of shed or something like that as an alternate still. But that's not where we ended up. Where we ended up is it's inside. So the thought is if MPCA decides they don't want it or council decides, and this is why I was very short with everything, and I know I'm being recorded, but council's just gonna have to be on board with it being inside the building, that village funds, they're okay with that, supporting this, even if MPCA is willing to pay X or this or that. And then when you guys decide you don't want it in 5 years, leave it in 5 years, does that just, is there anything that we need to do? The second part to that is we do still have those pods that are down there. The other thought is we might do just like a concrete slab and give you guys one of those. We paint them, we do something cool with them, and you guys can have one of those, which is what Brian's been working out of. Of course, we said, I'll just say this on record, we said give it to you guys because, they were very inexpensive when we got it. We would still have one. Whether or not we would have to sell it to you for X amount of dollars just legally, that would be another option. So I emailed Carrie back, just so you know, just to kind of say, give me until after Thursday when we have our conversation with council to discuss how does council feel about that. Like, it's not really my decision to say, okay, this is what we did. They might say, let's go ahead and just get an alternate and put it over here. Because I think you're going to see that that's probably more of an option where we want the building. And maybe not as much where it was. So do you have?
There were a few plans. This is one where it's like,
essentially that. Yeah.
There was two options. One is you come in from next to the office, and then this one. And it's a 12 by.
Everything has been completely changed.
Yeah.
The only entrance, I believe, the only entrance is going to be from the exterior.
Yeah.
For them now.
It's a 12 by 12 room, so 144 square feet.
So I think so then the other thought is if we end up going a different route, that would just be storage for something of like the village or the police department or something like that. If we didn't go, it's still just gonna be a good room for storage for however it pans out. The other
location of this is where?
If you go past the basketball court on Maplewood, there's that service road that used to take you to the, where the sewer plant was back there.
There's a
It's
little
next to
drive
the
that goes
first
to nowhere.
house. Right past where the apple trees are on that curve, there's that road right next to the house there. It would be, the ideal location is behind that house. We own a triangle of land back there.
Yeah, we're trying to go as far back as we can, but the problem is the further back we go, the more expensive it is because of utilities. So the initial thought was, not our initial. The engineers thought it might be a better idea to keep it closer to the front.
Yeah.
And I think council does
Yeah.
not.
We'll talk about Thursday and we'll kind of let you all know. So, all right. I move to adjourn then, if there's no other business. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good night. I appreciate y'all.